Hi, and welcome to another episode Around the Neighborhood with me, Scott McMahon, your local real estate professional. And today we're at Southeast Portland. We're going to focus on 3 select neighborhoods: Mount Tabor, Woodstock, and Eastmoreland. And we're actually at Mount Tabor Park. And what makes this park so special is this structure right here. So what makes this structure so impressive, it's remnants of an extinct volcano that was here in Portland 300,000 years ago. And this is the cinder cone of all the lava flow and the rocks that hardened over the years. I think it was back in 1913 is when they actually discovered it, when they were going to start building in this neighborhood. They said, hey, what is this? And then scientists and the geologists, they discovered, wait a minute, this was an extinct volcano, and doing the carbon dating, they determined it's over 300,000 years old. The reason I'm doing this special episode is I have a client that's interested in buying a home here in Southeast Portland and wanted to get an idea of some of these special neighborhoods. So if you're living in inner Southeast Portland and you want to have access to a really gorgeous park, Mount Tabor, you can't go wrong with. Essentially, because it's an extinct volcano, a lot of the roads and trails wrap around like in this big circle up to the top of the hill, which you can see most of Portland. You can see Mount Hood on one side, and then down to the west side of the city on the other side, and we'll see if we can't get up there, and hopefully it's clear enough that we can take a look. Well, we're at the top of Mount Tabor, and as you can see behind me is a gorgeous view of the west side of the city, but this camera doesn't do it justice when you're here in person. Just how beautiful it is. The great thing about this park is it's so close to everything here in Southeast Portland that if you need to hike, you need to run, you need to bike, just to get away, this is the park to do it at. A lot of meetups happen here. There's always something going on. There's playgrounds, obviously, if you have kids. One of the things I love about Mount Tabor is that a lot of the early architecture started at the turn of the century, the 20th century. So you get a lot of these like village cottages in place, and it's nice to see even the restrooms are done up in this style to keep with the aesthetics of the neighborhood. Not quite in the Mount Tabor neighborhood, just on the very west side on Hawthorne Boulevard, which happens to be, if you've never been on Hawthorne Boulevard here in Portland, is definitely a must. It pretty much has everything you think of in Portland on this particular boulevard. This spot here, it happens to be a really, really desirable and favorite for a lot of the locals here when it comes to breakfast and brunch, jam on Hawthorne. One of the other items that my client was asking about was public transportation. And here in Portland, we have the TriMet, which uses buses, the light rail, as well as another train system that goes east and west way out into the Beaverton area and Gresham. With the public transportation system here in Portland, it's easy to just grab the TriMet app to get an idea where all the buses and the light rails, as well as picking up like an electric scooter, electric bicycle, to get yourself to the specific bus stops. Now, if you happen to have an iPhone, you can get the Hop app, which is located on the TriMet website as well, and you can load up your Apple Pay card, have it ready to go on your Hop app here, and then boom. Oh, like here, like I was just saying. Like I said, there's electric scooters, there's electric bikes. Download the app, grab it, rent it for where you need to go, connect to like a bus stop, connect to like the main light rails to get around the city fairly easily. The walkability score of Mount Tabor is pretty high. That's if you can walk. Not everybody can walk, so that score wouldn't apply to you. But not only is the walkability score pretty high, the public transportation score is pretty high. What's really high is the biking score, for it's a really good biking town or biking neighborhood. Now we're just outside of Mount Tabor Park. We're literally in walking distance to the base of the park. And Mount Tabor, the neighborhood, is made up over 13,000 residents, and the median home price is around $550,000. So there's a house across the street from here is going for about $850,000. Depending on when you see this video, this home will be sold by that time. So I'll put all the information below in this video to all the homes I'm showing today. And that way you can have an idea of the price points and what can be offered here just around Mount Tabor. Well, that home was offered at $850. This particular home is offered for $375. So you see the range is why the medium home price is around $550 in this area. Traveled down from the Mount Tabor neighborhood to here, Woodstock, which is considered inner southeast Portland. And Woodstock has a reputation of kind of becoming a up-and-coming artistic neighborhood, a little bit more affordable than areas like Laurelhurst or Mount Tabor and Eastmoreland, which we'll see soon enough. With the medium home prices around $450,000 in this particular neighborhood, this house is selling for $625,000. While that home was offered at $625,000, you can pick up a home like this for $285,000 in the neighborhood. So we're on Woodstock Blvd, which is like the main strip, obviously through the neighborhood. It gets pretty loud here. We're at rush hour. A Thai restaurant, there's a lot of Thai restaurants here in Portland, but this Grand Central Bakery happens to be considered like the favorite spot here in the neighborhood, which is interesting because in Mount Tabor, when I showed you the jam on Hawthorne, there was a Grand Central Bakery right across the street from that. But let's go inside since it's open, maybe we can get something to eat. So what's cool about this neighborhood, there's a Zoom Care across the street that I've used before. I've actually had an appointment here to take care of some undisclosed medical problems. Just kidding. But also there's a New Season. If you're not familiar with New Seasons, it's like a locally sourced, supported grocery store. And if you don't like New Seasons, you can go across the street to Safeway to get all your other staples for a major chain. The cool thing about Woodstock, it's right next door to Eastmoreland, which is a neighborhood that only has around 6,000 people, and the median home price is $750,000. And I'll show you here in a second why it's $750,000. This is Reed College, and this is famous because this is where Steve Jobs went to school, where apparently he dropped acid, and then years later created one of these magic boxes here. The campus is stunning. It's really beautiful, and it's just, you know, tucked away here in inner southeast Portland. And right across the street from Reed College, you have the Eastmoreland Public Golf Course, which is just beautiful. Let's take a little quick stroll through the Eastmoreland neighborhood and discover why, again, the median home prices are over $750,000. This particular house right here is listed for over $1.6 million, and it's just gorgeous. This particular home is going for $1.5 million, and this whole neighborhood, you can actually imagine if none of the modern day cars were here and they put in cars from the 30s and 40s, it would be a film set for some kind of Indiana Jones film or something. While some of those homes are well over $1 million, you can see how charming the neighborhood is, and those homes, you know, they just have a lot of character. But within the Eastmoreland neighborhood, you can find homes like this one that are going for $600,000. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode around the neighborhood with me, Scott McMahon, your local real estate professional. And if you have any interest in buying and selling a home in the areas I just showed you today, give me a call. All my contact information is below. As well as if you have any questions about the real estate process, go to freesecrets.net because I offer a free video series called The Secrets of the Real Estate Process. Again, that's at freesecrets.net. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you around the neighborhood. So we're on Woodstock Blvd, as you can hear. We got the public transportation. We got TriMet coming here with the buses. It'll take you to the, like I said, pretty far. So the reason I'm doing this episode on these three specific neighborhoods, particular, and this blue, I think it's, let's see here. Let's try that again. Blue, I don't know. One of the things I love about Mount. Now we're just outside of the Mount, oh shoot, let's start over again. So ever since going to Paris, France, I've got a jonesing for Orange Gina. They don't have Orange Gina, it's an Italian drink, but they have an Izzy and chocolate croissant. It seems to be like what a great combination. And I pretty much ate that every day while I was in Paris.